Paul Danan claimed he was related to a hugely renowned Jewish prophet and had hopes of marrying his dream girl in a synagogue in a moving final interview before his death at the age of 46. The former Hollywood star is believed to have died after he slipped and fell at the dry house where he was staying in Bristol in a bid to get clean, and was laid to rest on January 21. Weeks before his passing, Paul spoke to Outlet 10 Discussions podcast, where he opened up about discovering his link to one of the most respected scholars in the Jewish faith. The star revealed that he was a descendant of the Sephardic rabbi and philosopher Maimonides, also known by Jewish acronym Rambam, who changed the pathway of the lives of his community. He shared, "My dad was born in Morocco, in Fez, and funnily enough, my great-great-great-great-grandfather, we have a museum, he was the chief rabbi of Morocco. He was unbelievable, and we're related to this prophet. They are so into this guy because of what he did. He changed like the way. I should know more, and I feel embarrassed that I don't. But he changed the pathway of their lives, of the Jewish people's lives. And he was also a bit naughty like me. I went to Portugal when I did like celebrity coach trip. I met this guy and he was a Jewish bloke. And he did this excursion, where we did this meditation stuff. It was like mindfulness eating and stuff, and we were eating all different things, but we were really like, and we were like, chewing it, and really in the moment of what it was. Anyway, I got on really well with him, and I told him I was a relative of this man, and his name is the Rambam, right? And he was a lawyer, a psychiatrist or something, a doctor, and all these other things. But he was also a bit cheeky. He did what he did to get things. And we're talking like hundreds of years ago, but to be related to him is the most incredible thing. So when I see a rabbi, and they literally bow down to me, I'm like, what are you doing? I got invited to this Friday night dinner with this rabbi. He lives in Golders Green, and the whole evening and the whole dining table was in honor of me that's related to the Rambam, and I said, what are you doing? When I go to Morocco and I see the Rambam Museum, there's a synagogue and all the chief rabbis of the world are all buried there together, and my grandfather is there, and it is amazing. Sharing that this was the first time he's ever spoken about his family history, Paul went on to reveal that after sharing he links to the Jewish prophet, and she hopes to marry the girl of her dreams at the renowned synagogue he visited. He went on to say, I went to the Danan synagogue and said, if I found someone, could I get married here? Because it's not a place for people to get married. And he went, because you're a Danan, you can. And I thought to myself, one day, if I do meet, I'm going to bring her here. We're going to get married at this synagogue because, oh my God, it's like a museum. Paul is believed to have slipped and fallen at the luxury apartment near Bristol where he was staying, leading to his death. The accident is thought to have happened while the actor was full of hopes for a TV comeback after getting life back on track. Much-loved Paul had been put forward to go on a popular dating show and was feeling optimistic after getting his life back on track. Neighbors told how an ambulance was called to the flat near Bristol on Wednesday evening, but paramedics could not save the star. Paul, who appeared on Love Island and Celebrity Big Brother, was due to appear in court the following day charged with possession of Class A drugs. In a podcast 7 months ago, Paul told how he was living in a dry house in Bristol, believed to be the 392,000 pounds flat where he was found dead. The Grade 0 listed property, part of a former Georgian lunatic asylum, boasts a swimming pool, gym, and tennis court along with 10 acres of grounds. Also registered at the one-bedroom property is Judith Kim Skelton, 46, a personal development coach who specializes in mental health. Danan's neighbor said he kept himself to himself in his first-floor apartment. One told Mail Online, I didn't know he was famous. I don't think anyone living here knew who he was until he died. His family has been here since and asked us not to say anything. Another neighbor said she saw an ambulance at the communal entrance to the gated mansion house in Bristol. She added, I then found out that the man living in the flat has died. I didn't know him, it's very sad. Avon and Somerset police said the death was not being treated as suspicious. Residents said they thought Paul lived on his own at the apartment where he was fighting his addiction demons. In a YouTube podcast titled Love Island Escapades Addictions last summer, Paul talked about how he was introduced to cocaine and later went on to use crystal meth and heroin. Talking about his addictions and treatment during lockdown, he said, "I will probably go to Bristol, go and live in a dry house. I need to carry this on and be in a house with addicts who are in recovery." Paul, who shot to fame as Saul Patrick in Channel 4's Hollyoaks, said he wanted to teach drama to adults alongside a career of acting, writing, and directing. He previously told Mail Online how he moved in with his parents and struggled to get acting jobs, so worked in a phone shop repairing screens to get by after leaving Hollyoaks. The actor became a household name playing bad boy Saul Patrick from 1997 until 2001 on Channel 4's Top Soap. He told Mail Online just before Christmas how he regretted leaving Hollyoaks to try to break into Hollywood because he didn't want to be typecast as a soap star and become the next Ken Barlow. But he could not cope with the rejection that followed in LA and became homesick, getting drawn down the dark path of drugs that blighted his life. He said he failed in Hollywood, so he went on Celebrity Love Island, which hampered his prospects, blaming snobby casting directors for a lack of work afterwards. In 2020, he moved back in with his parents in Essex after he became homeless, having previously spent about $1 million on rehab and recovery over the years. Most recently, he was based in Bristol, where he was teaching students in drama school while trying to break back into acting. You can listen to the full interview on the Outlet 10 Discussions podcast out Sunday at 8 a.m.